Los Angeles is a city built on the promise of perpetual sunshine, yet sometimes the deepest shadows fall not in the darkness of night, but in the glaring light of noon. This is the story of a shadow named Robert. Robert was 71, and his world was an expansive, silent mausoleum built of Italian marble and regret. His estate, nestled high in the hills of Bel Air, was a fortress designed to keep the world out, but more importantly, designed to keep him in. He had everything a man could possibly acquire: wealth that defied imagination, power that once moved markets, and silence that was deafening. But the silence was the heaviest burden, a blanket woven 5 years ago, the day he locked a single door on the second floor and swore he would never open again. That room, pristine and frozen in time, held a memory of his loss, a wound he tended with ritualistic isolation. He moved through his days like a ghost, supervised by Mrs. Brown, his efficient, steely-eyed housekeeper who treated the house like a museum and Robert like its most precious, yet broken, exhibit. Robert would spend hours in his study, not working, but simply watching the dust motes dance in the slanted afternoon light, calculating how many more sunsets he would endure before the silence finally claimed him completely. The only thing that ever broke his routine was a drive. He loved the anonymity of driving his own unassuming vintage Mercedes through the vast, indifferent expanse of the city he had helped build. Meanwhile, 3 valleys away, where the heat was trapped and the air smelled of exhaust and desperation, Lily was calculating a different kind of cost. Lily was 9 years old, but her eyes held the weary seriousness of someone twice her age. She was small, perpetually dusty, and dangerously optimistic. Her uniform was a slightly too large t-shirt and worn shorts, and her office was a corner of a busy intersection near the 10 freeway entrance. She sold candy, small, packaged sweets while wholesale at a discount store. The sun beat down with brutal indifference, turning the pavement into a shimmering mirage. Every time the light turned red, Lily sprang into action, weaving between the idling cars, holding up her plastic container. "Water, sir? Gum? Only $1. She wasn't saving up for a toy or a trip to Disneyland. She was selling enough to afford the next week's dose of medication for her mother, Maria. Maria was a talented tailor who had been struck down by a chronic illness that required specific, expensive maintenance drugs. Maria couldn't work much anymore, so Lily had become the family provider. Rejection was constant. People glared, waved her away, or lectured her about child labor laws. But Lily had a fierce resolve. She knew the chemical name of her mother's medicine, and she knew exactly how many packs of gum equaled 1 pill. One Tuesday afternoon, Robert found himself on the wrong side of town. He needed a specific, obscure brand of vintage oil for his car that only one specialty shop carried. He was waiting at the intersection when the light changed. He wasn't paying attention until a small shadow fell across his driver's side window. It was Lily. Her small face was smeared with sweat and soot, but her eyes were bright and determined. She held up a pack of neon sourworms. "Sir? Candy? Great for the afternoon slump." Robert was startled. He hadn't seen a child working the streets like this in decades. He looked at her, not with pity, but with a sudden, jarring recognition of pure, unadulterated effort. He rolled down the window. The roar of the traffic rushed in. "How much for the worms?" he asked, his voice rough from disuse. $2, she said instantly. "It's a big bag." Robert reached into his wallet and pulled out a 20. "Keep the change." Lily's eyes widened slightly, but she quickly masked her surprise. She handed him the bag and tried to give him a stack of bills back. "Sir, I have change. This is too much." "No," Robert said, shaking his head. "It's fine. Go buy yourself a drink of cold water." Lily looked at the 20, then back at Robert. He wasn't giving her a pity look. He was just looking at her, seeing her. She nodded, tucking the 20 deep into her pouch. "Thank you, sir. Have a good day." The light turned green, and Robert drove away, the plastic bag of sourworms resting in the passenger seat. He didn't eat them. He just drove, feeling a small, unexpected tremor in the silence that usually encompassed him. The sight of her fierce independence had cracked the polished armor of his grief, if only for a second. The next day, Robert found himself taking the long route, the one that required him to wait at that specific intersection. He told himself it was just a coincidence, that he needed to check on a property nearby. But when the light turned red, he searched the lanes. There she was, bouncing on the balls of her feet, navigating the slow-moving cars. This time, she recognized his car. A small, genuine smile flickered across her face. "Welcome back, sir," she said, leaning slightly on the window frame. "Do you need more sourworms? I also have mints today." I think I'm good on the worms, Robert replied. They were very sour. Too sour, perhaps. Lily giggled. A bright, clear sound that felt utterly foreign in Robert's silent life. They are called sour worms, sir. That's the point. Ah, naturally, Robert conceded. Tell me, what's your name? Lily, she said. And yours? Robert. Well, Robert, Lily said, holding up a bottle of water. It's very hot today. This one is $3. Robert bought the water, again handing her a large bill. Lily, he asked, suddenly serious, why are you selling these out here in this heat? Lily didn't lie. She had no time for pretense. My mom is sick. I need to buy her medicine. It's very expensive. The casual weight of her statement landed heavily on Robert. He knew expense. He knew sickness. But he didn't know the kind of gut-wrenching worry this child must feel. You should be in school, he stated gently. I go to school, Lily countered defensively. I do this after school and all weekend. I study at the library until they close. Mom makes sure I don't miss anything. The library has air conditioning, which is good for studying. Robert was profoundly moved by her diligence. This wasn't a child being exploited. This was a child fighting a war. The light turned green. Robert nodded slowly. I'll see you tomorrow, Lily. Be careful driving, Robert, she called out as he accelerated away. And so began a peculiar, silent friendship built around the stoplight. Robert never bought much. Sometimes it was a pack of pretzels. Sometimes just a conversation. He found himself looking forward to the red light, to the moment when Lily's bright presence broke through his solitude. He noticed her small habits, the way she meticulously organized her money, the way she offered a genuine compliment to every driver who actually bought something, the way she checked her phone every half hour, presumably calling her mother. One Thursday, the interaction was more substantive. Robert was sitting in his car, watching Lily negotiate with a woman in a large SUV who was rudely dismissive. When the woman drove off, Lily sighed, wiping her forehead. Robert rolled down his window. That woman was quite unpleasant, Robert observed. Lily shrugged, climbing onto the low curb. People are usually busy. They don't mean to be mean. But she needed to buy her toddler some fruit snacks. Mine are better, but maybe she didn't know that. You have a good outlook, Robert said. He hesitated, then pulled a slip of paper from his glove compartment. It was the address of his primary estate. Lily, I have a job for you. It's not selling candy, and it's not charity. I need help organizing my garage. It's an enormous mess. Hundreds of tools, dusty boxes. Do you think you could manage that? I'll pay you $50 an hour. Cash. Lily stared at the number 50, her mind reeling. That was almost half the cost of one refill of Maria's prescription. $50 an hour? She repeated, skeptical. That's a lot for organizing. My tools are very valuable, Robert said smoothly, meeting her gaze. I need someone meticulous and trustworthy. You strike me as both. Bring your mother if you like. The air conditioning is excellent. Lily hesitated. This felt too good, too easy. But Robert's face, though lined with age and sadness, radiated a strange, trustworthy honesty. I have to ask my mom, Lily said. Where is this? Robert pointed at the paper. It's in the hills. Bel Air. The drive is long, but I can arrange transportation. It's an estate, not a job site. Just a very large, dusty garage. Lily took the paper. I will call you tomorrow. I have to talk to my mother about scheduling. If I can do this on a Saturday, it would be perfect. Saturdays are good, Robert agreed, feeling a flutter of anticipation he hadn't experienced in years. That evening, Lily spoke to Maria. Maria was hesitant. Robert's address was in the most exclusive part of the city. Why would a man who lived there need a 9-year-old to organize his garage? He seems nice, Mom, Lily insisted, stroking her mother's feverish brow. He bought my worms. He didn't look down on me. He said I was meticulous. Maria looked at the $20 bill Lily still held. They needed the money desperately. After careful consideration and a call to the only number Robert had given, a number that went directly to Robert's personal cell, Maria reluctantly agreed, provided she accompanied Lily for the first few hours. Saturday arrived, clear and hot. Robert sent his quiet, elderly driver, Marcus, in an unmarked black sedan to pick them up. Maria, frail but determined, dressed in her best blouse, clung tightly to Lily's hand during the drive. When they arrived at the estate gates, Maria gasped. The wrought iron was towering, intricate, and imposing. Security cameras tracked their progress. The driver spoke into an intercom. Announcing their arrival, Robert met them at the massive oak front door. He was dressed casually in a linen shirt and slacks, looking less like a titan of industry and more like a retired professor. "Maria, Lily, welcome," Robert said, his voice genuinely warm. Maria managed a slight, nervous curtsy. "Mr. Robert, thank you for this opportunity. I hope Lily can truly be of assistance." "She already is," Robert assured her. "The garage is separate from the main house, but if you need anything, Mrs. Brown will assist you." The house was breathtakingly grand, yet strangely sterile. Maria noted perfection of the foyer, the museum-quality artifacts, and the complete lack of personal clutter. It felt like nobody actually lived there. Robert led them to cavernous 3-car garage, which was indeed filled with old tools, shelving units, and boxes labeled with cryptic dates. He set them up with water, a fan, and a playlist of soft jazz. Maria sat on a folding chair, helping Lily sort the smaller items, while trying not to stare at the expensive sports cars parked immaculately along the wall. For the next 4 hours, they worked diligently. Robert checked on them twice, once bringing freshly squeezed lemonade. He didn't hover. He just watched Lily move with intense focus, cataloging screws and wrenches with precision he had hoped for. As Maria felt a wave of dizziness hit her, she decided it was time to leave. She thanked Robert profusely. He handed Lily 5 crisp $100 bills. "That's for work today, Lily. And a small bonus for your excellent organization skills." Lily stared at the money. This was monumental. This was months of candy sales. "Thank you, Robert," she whispered, tears welling up not from sadness, but from overwhelming relief. The next few weeks fell into a pattern. Lily and Maria came every Saturday. Maria felt increasingly comfortable under Robert's care, realizing that his kindness was genuine, perhaps born from a deep loneliness. Robert, in turn, found himself slightly shifting his routine. He started eating lunch in the sunroom, just listening to the faint, distant sounds of Lily's voice drifting in from garage. He realized he was smiling again. One day, while Lily was carefully stacking boxes, she found one labeled LMR Keepsakes. It was small, dusty, and clearly hadn't been touched in years. "Robert," Lily called, holding up the box. "Should this stay or go?" Robert materialized in the doorway, suddenly rigid. He stared at the box, and the casual warmth drained instantly from his face, replaced by a deep, ancient pain. "Put that down, Lily," he said, his voice flat and commanding. "That stays. Do not touch that box." Lily, startled by his change in demeanor, quickly placed it back on the shelf. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." Robert sighed, running a hand through his gray hair. "No, I apologize, Lily. That box, that is just a reminder of the things that leave scars. It belongs to the past." He left the garage abruptly. Lily looked at Maria, who gently shook her head, indicating they should not pry. But the encounter confirmed Maria's suspicion. Robert was suffering from a massive, unaddressed grief. He saw something in Lily, something that belonged to the initials on that box. One afternoon, a few weeks later, Robert was driving Lily and Maria back home. Maria was feeling particularly weak and had fallen asleep in the backseat. Lily was talking about her mother's recovery goals. "The doctor said if she gets 3 months of consistent medicine, she might feel much better. She might even be able to start sewing again," Lily explained, her voice full of hope. Robert pulled the car over the side of the road, facing the vast sprawl of the city. "Lily, I want to help you more. I want to pay for all of it. The medicine, a better place to live, whatever you need." Lily shook her head immediately, her small jaw tight. "No, Robert, you already pay me excellent wages. We earn our way. We don't take charity." "This isn't charity," Robert argued softly. "This is an investment. You give me back something I lost. You bring light into my house. You've given me a reason to look forward to Saturday." Lily looked at the sadness in his eyes. "What did you lose, Robert?" Robert hesitated for a long time. The memories clawed at him. The small, childish laughter, the sticky fingers, the miniature piano in the locked room upstairs. "I lost my family, Lily. A long time ago," he finally admitted, "and I have locked away every reminder, thinking that silence would somehow heal the ache. It doesn't. It just makes the house colder." He reached out and briefly squeezed Lily's hand, a gesture of profound trust. Lily, sensing the depth of his confession, didn't push further. She just held his gaze. She understood loss. Robert drove on, feeling a profound connection to this brave little girl. He knew he was being selfish. He wasn't just helping them, they were saving him. If you believe destiny brings the right people together, Type destiny in the comments now. The time came when Robert decided he couldn't bear the thought of Lily and Maria living in their cramped, dangerous apartment complex anymore. He had a magnificent guest cottage on the edge of his property and used for years, complete with a small garden. It was perfect for Maria's recovery. He orchestrated the invitation meticulously. He asked Lily to come to the estate alone on a Monday after school, saying he needed help with inventory outside of their usual Saturday slot. When Lily arrived, Robert led her straight to the cottage. He presented it not as a gift, but as a temporary, high-security apartment for his valued employee. Lily, your mother needs quiet, fresh air, and accessibility. This cottage is available. I need you both here, close by. It simplifies your employment. And I need someone to occasionally feed the koi in the pond. This is your new home until your mother is fully recovered. Lily, walking through the beautifully furnished, sun-drenched cottage, was overwhelmed. She called her mother immediately, sobbing into the phone. Maria, astonished and deeply grateful, agreed. They would move in the next day. The plan was perfect, except Robert had failed to properly brief his governing staff, especially Mrs. Brown, on the full extent of his relationship with Lily. The next morning, Robert was away at an emergency board meeting downtown, dealing with a crisis that demanded his immediate presence. He had left clear instructions with his personal assistant to handle the move-in details. Lily and Maria arrived at the main gate in a borrowed truck, containing the entirety of their meager possessions. Maria was using a cane, moving slowly. The security guard at the gate was new and highly aggressive. He saw a battered rental truck, a frail-looking woman, and a child carrying boxes. He immediately called Mrs. Brown, who had arrived precisely at that moment, overseeing the delivery of new drapes. Mrs. Brown was furious. Her estate was being violated by people she deemed unsuitable. She prided herself on maintaining the exclusive, untouched atmosphere Robert demanded. What is the meaning of this intrusion? Mrs. Brown demanded. Sweeping toward the truck in her crisp black suit, the guard stepped forward. They claimed they are moving into the guest cottage, ma'am. They said Mr. Robert approved it. Mrs. Brown looked Lily and Maria up and down with utter contempt. Nonsense. The guest cottage is reserved for visiting CEOs or the ambassador. It has been empty for 5 years. Mr. Robert would never allow commoners to reside there. You must be mistaken. Maria, exhausted and anxious, tried to explain. We are working for Mr. Robert. Lily is assisting him with the garage organization. He invited us. Mrs. Brown laughed. A cold, brittle sound. Working for him? Oh, I see. You are the little girl who sells penny candy on the street corner. How adorable. Mr. Robert, in his old age, sometimes indulges in quaint little charities, but they are temporary. He certainly did not give you residency. He did, Lily insisted, stepping forward, feeling the shame and the desperation rising. He said we needed to live closer, so I could take care of the koi. We are not charity cases. I earn the money. You earn nothing that would afford residency here, Mrs. Brown snapped, waving her hand dismissively at the guard. Escort them off the property immediately, and take that filthy truck with them. If they return, you're authorized to involve the police. The guard, eager to please the powerful housekeeper, moved towards Lily and Maria. Let's go, folks. You heard the lady. No trespassing. Maria stumbled backwards, clutching her chest, breathing hard. Lily rushed to her mother's side, forgetting the boxes, forgetting the hope. The humiliation was crushing. They had been exposed, judged, and thrown out like garbage. Wait, please. Lily cried out. My mom isn't feeling well. Let us just rest a minute. Out, Mrs. Brown commanded, pointing dramatically toward the gate. Now. The guard physically guided them back toward the truck. Lily helped her terrified mother back inside the cab, her eyes burning with angry tears. They drove away from the magnificent gate, heading back toward their suffocating reality, the vision of the quiet cottage evaporating like smoke. Robert, wrapping up his board meeting, checked his phone. He saw 3 missed calls from his assistant and a cryptic, distressed text from Marcus, the driver, saying, "Situation at the gate. Needs immediate attention." Robert felt a cold premonition. He barked an order to his driver and sped back toward the estate. When he arrived 20 minutes later, the security team was relaxing, smugly reporting their success in dealing with the vagrants. Robert pulled his own car up to the gate, throwing it into park. He didn't wait for the guard to move. He stalked through the gate, his posture radiating lethal fury. He found Mrs. Brown instructing a gardener on pruning roses, oblivious of the storm she had unleashed. Mrs. Brown. Robert's voice echoed across the manicured lawns, sharp and dangerous. Mrs. Brown immediately turned, composing her face into a mask of professional concern. Mr. Robert, you're back early. We had a slight incident. Sir, nothing you need worry about. Some highly unsuitable people tried to claim the guest house. I handled it. Robert stared at her, his eyes blazing. Tell me exactly what you did, Mrs. Brown. She launched into a proud recital of her defense of the estate's integrity, explaining how the child tried to use his kindness to gain access. I told them you would never allow common people to stay here, Mr. Robert. I expelled them swiftly. Robert listened, his chest heaving. When she finished, the silence returned, heavier and more dangerous than before. Those unsuitable people, Mrs. Brown, Robert said, enunciating every word with chilling clarity, were my guests. They were my future residents. Lily is the most meticulous, honest, and dignified person I have met in decades. Maria is her mother, who is terribly ill and requires peace and quiet. I specifically arranged for their residency. Mrs. Brown's face went white. But, sir, the image of the estate. To hell with the image of the estate. Robert roared, his control finally snapping. The sheer volume of his rage silenced the entire staff present. The image of this estate is nothing but a prison built around my sorrow. Lily was the only one in 5 years who brought a shred of warmth back into this place. And you, in your arrogant assumption of my preferences, threw them out like dirt. He turned to the head security guard. You are relieved of duty immediately. Pack your desk. You will be escorted off the premises by the end of the hour. He faced Mrs. Brown, who was shaking visibly. Mrs. Brown, you have been loyal, but loyalty without compassion is tyranny. You will take a paid leave of absence for 1 month. When you return, you will only attend to the main house, and you will not, under any circumstances, interact with the guest cottage or residence. Do you understand? Yes, Mr. Robert, she whispered, utterly defeated. Robert did not waste another second. He jumped back into his car, tires spitting gravel, and drove at speed back toward the neighborhood where he had first found Lily. He had to find them before they retreated entirely into their shell of fear. He found them outside their rundown apartment building. Lily was sitting on the stoop next to her mother, who was leaning heavily against the brick wall, pale and breathing shallowly. The rental truck was still idling. Robert pulled up, rushing out of the car. Lily, Maria, I am so sorry. Deeply, profoundly sorry. Lily looked up, her eyes puffy and hurt. It's okay, Robert. We understand. People like us don't belong there. We knew it was too good to be true. No. Robert knelt down, uncaring of the dust on his trousers. You belong wherever you are treated with dignity, and I failed you. I failed to communicate my instructions properly. I fired the guard, and Mrs. Brown has been severely reprimanded. I swear to you, no one will ever treat you that way again. Please, you must come back. Maria needs a peace and the air conditioning right now. Maria looked at Robert's face. The raw anguish that was more convincing than any apology. Mr. Robert, Maria said faintly, we trust you, but we cannot endure that kind of humiliation again. For Lily's sake. It will never happen again, Robert vowed. He helped Maria gently into his car, ignoring the rental truck. Marcus will follow with your belongings. We are going home. This time, when they passed through the gate, Robert stopped the car. He got out and personally walked Lily and Maria the entire path to the guest cottage, holding Maria's arm steady. He settled them inside, ensuring the air conditioning was working perfectly. Later that evening, after Robert had ensured they had groceries and a visiting nurse had checked Maria, he returned to the main house. The silence was back, but now it felt different, charged with potential. He went upstairs to the second floor and stood before the locked door. The key was still hidden beneath the mantelpiece in his study, where it had been for 5 years. He retrieved it. The brass was cold and heavy in his hand. He stood before the door, labeled by his memory. The grieving room. He slid the key into the lock. It turned with a loud metallic click that echoed in the vast hallway. He pushed the door open. The room was a time capsule. It was a girl's bedroom, frozen in the middle of a moment. A small bed was perfectly made. A shelf held rows of beloved, slightly worn books, and a miniature antique piano stood against the wall. Dust had settled on everything, but the sunlight streaming through the window highlighted the vibrant colors of the room. It was the room of his granddaughter, Lilia Marie Robert, who had died 5 years earlier, tragically and suddenly. He walked to the small wooden desk and picked up a drawing taped there, a clumsy crayon picture of a house with too many windows and a wildly happy stick figure family. He sank onto the edge of bed, the mattress sighing softly beneath his weight. 5 years of silent agony, believing that keeping the memory intact meant keeping the pain fresh. He realized the pain had kept him alive, but it hadn't let him live. Robert walked downstairs and found Lily in the guest cottage, reading a book while Maria slept soundly. "Lily," Robert said, standing in the doorway, "I have something to show you. It's important." He led her through the massive house, past the grand staircase, and up to the second floor. He stopped outside the now open door. "This was my granddaughter's room," Robert whispered, his voice thick with emotion. Her name was Lillian, too. She was 9 years old when she left. Lily stepped inside, her eyes wide with curiosity and respect. She walked over to the desk and picked up the crayon drawing. "She was a very good artist," Lily commented quietly. "She was full of light," Robert agreed, "just like you." He looked around the room, feeling the finality of his grief. "I kept this room locked because I thought that if I let anyone else near her memory, I would lose her completely. But keeping it locked only meant keeping myself locked out of life." He turned to Lily, a gentle smile replacing the usual sadness. "This room should not be a tomb, Lily. It should be a place for a bright, determined young woman to study, to read, to play music. It has excellent light for drawing." Lily understood instantly. He wasn't giving her a handout. He was giving her a legacy. He was asking her to help him heal. "Robert," Lily said, tears blurring her vision, "are you saying?" "I'm saying this room is yours now, Lily," Robert confirmed. "Clean it up, make it your own. Bring your books here. Play the piano. Lillian would have loved you." Lily rushed forward and wrapped her small arms tightly around Robert's waist, burying her face against his chest. Robert held her, and for the first time in 5 years, the chill in his heart began to melt. He was not just receiving charity from fate. He was receiving a second chance at fatherhood, at family. Over the next few months, the change in his state was palpable. Maria's health stabilized dramatically in the quiet comfort of the cottage. Lily was thriving. She attended school diligently, and every afternoon, she would climb the grand staircase of the room on the second floor. She meticulously cleaned the dust, arranged her own books beside Lillian's, and practiced scales on the antique piano. The music drifted down to Robert's study, a tentative, sometimes clumsy, but always bright melody. Robert started leaving his study before sunset. He would meet Lily in the garden, and they would feed the koi together, discussing everything from homework to his latest business concerns. He officially established a foundation dedicated to providing critical medical aid to children's caregivers, with Lily serving as his inspiration and Maria as the first successful beneficiary story. Robert no longer felt like a lonely warden of a grand prison. He was a grandfather, a guardian, and a man who had finally understood that wealth is worthless if you have no one to share your light with. The door to Lillian's room stayed open, inviting in the fresh air and the sounds of new life. If this story touched your heart, like and share with someone who is your true family.